Welcome back to my channel, ladies and gentlemen, back to new. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, like, comment, do all those things. And if you don't even like it, I don't care, just go ahead and subscribe. We can use the subscribers. Today we have these two nightstands that we're trying to flip and restore. Now the story behind them is I actually got this one here for free. And I wanted to flip it, so I had to go find another one. So that's where I found the other one. I went to Facebook Marketplace, looked and looked, searched and searched, and finally I found one. Okay, as you can see, the top of this is already kind of jacked up. It's because I had already started working on it before I turned the camera on. So now I'm trying to recreate some of the things that I've done, but it dried out on me. So now I'm putting down some of this paint stripper so that I can start all over. I'm not even gonna say the name of the paint stripper. It's the pink stuff, because I don't get paid from them. But anyway, I put this down and let it sit for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then I came back. Zooming in a little bit so you can see it's actually starting to peel up pretty nicely there. So now I have my carbide blade and I just pull it right on out. I should have made a video of this. It was really simple. I'm gonna speed it up because I know you don't want to watch the full 20 minutes of me doing this, but it came off pretty easy. I had to step away for a moment so that I can go get something to put this on. But it was pretty simple. I worked with it for a little while. Then I had to go get me some steel wool or whatever this stuff is called, and I scraped it off pretty good, and the rest of it came off. This was a very, very simple process, believe it or not. I thought it was gonna be rough. I actually had this nightstand for about a month, sitting on it, dreading scraping the top. But it's a very interesting flip, to be honest with you. So now I'm going through the cleaning process. As you know, you have to clean this thing out. I always say you don't want to give anyone a product that looks good on the outside but dirty on the inside. So definitely had to clean it. Now this was an interesting piece, like I was saying earlier, because the top of this particular piece wasn't normal. It had like a piece on top of the piece. I'm not real sure why, but anyway, I had to take that piece off. So I took it off, and you'll see me tearing that down here in just a little bit. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like I said earlier, but go watch some of the shorts, because the shorts, I actually show that video as well. Now we're taking a look at these handles. Actually, I like these handles, so I'm gonna keep these, but I'm not gonna use them for this particular flip. I'll use them for another one. They're really pretty. Now the one on the bottom, I don't know that I'll ever be able to use that, the leaf. I don't know if that's ever gonna come in handy, but I'm gonna keep it anyway. You never can tell. Maybe I'll get another free dresser and maybe it'll have another leaf on it. I don't know, and I'll have a reason to use it. Now, as I was talking about earlier, here we go. See, I'm not real sure why we have this piece that I'm taking off. Nevertheless, I don't know everything, so I figured maybe it needed to be there. So when it was all said and done, I went ahead and sealed it. Okay, now it's time to do some sanding. And I went deep. I actually had to sand this whole thing. The memorable part about this is gonna probably be sanding, and then, as you'll see a little bit later, trying to make that wood look on top. But I used 60 grit on all three sides. I made it real smooth. I actually used 3 different grit levels. 60 to sand it all the way down the first time. The second time I actually used 180. And then the fourth time I just used a real nice smooth grit, which was 400. And I think I only did the drawers with the 60 grit and the 400. You can't tell, but it came out really smooth. Looks like it's a little lumpy. Now what I'm doing here is I have to measure out a little bit. I can do that by my eye. It's time to measure for the top, because I'm gonna cover up the top as I get ready to paint the base. I'm not one of those people who can just eyeball it and use my paintbrush and not get it all over I get it all over the place. So I'll make sure that I tape everything up, even if I don't use that little plastic piece. I'll make sure I tape everything up. Now look at that color, it's nice. It's kind of a navy. None of my friends believe it's navy. My dad calls it purple. My friends are like, oh, it's kind of a bluish color. I don't know, it reminds me of that dress. You know, the white and blue dress or whatever. Some people think it's blue and brown, and other people think it's white and gold. But this to me looks navy blue, I'm sorry. Even on video it looks navy blue to me. Maybe I don't know what navy blue is. Nevertheless, it looks really, really good on this dresser, and it's kind of a surprise. I actually went and bought this from Home Depot, and when I saw it, fell in love with it off the spot. I didn't even look at anything else. I was like, this is the one that's gonna work. It cost me about 20 bucks. So just to give you an update as we get ready to paint, and this I actually had, by the way. This paint here I used in a remodel in my own house, and I actually had it so I didn't have to purchase this. The purpose of this color was to kind of make a wood look top. So I just thought maybe the inside of a tree kind of had this real barky type look. And so this is what I thought this color represented, like a real barky type look. So that's why I chose to go with this as opposed to more of a brown. And so I experimented. I've never done this before. I probably watched 50 videos of how to make that wood look. So now I'm putting a whitewash on the top, which I've done that before. Please go watch my video on how I do a whitewash on a telephone table. But I'm doing this whitewash, and I went out and I purchased one of the little the wood grain things, as you can see right here. And that don't look too good to me at all. It didn't feel good. I left the sound on for y'all so you can hear it, but it didn't sound good either. It just came out terrible. I hated it, every second of it. I tried and I couldn't stay steady, as you can see. So I did my best, I tried, but then I realized that my best was just not good enough. So I wiped it off. All right, let's try something different. But I left a little bit of the white on there. Okay, let's put this brown on here. Let's try something different. Wood is brown, that's what I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and try brown. I wipe the brown on, and I use my grit brush again, or my wood grain brush again. And I got the same results again. I think it was worse this time. As you can see, I'm just standing there like, what am I gonna do? So I took that off. Now I'm kind of confused. I don't know exactly what to do. But then I saw another video of where a person just brushed back and forth. Now what was cool, and one thing that I did know, if I left it on long enough, then that look would kind of stick in the paint. So if I just kept brushing, it would still be there, although it didn't look as good as I thought. Plus it had more of a wear and tear or worn look anyways. So now I just realized, okay, just the more brushing I do, the better. So I brushed and brushed. I bet this sped up. I'm sure this brushing technique went on for a good 20 minutes per dresser. So 40 minutes of my life was used doing this technique here. Back and forth, back and forth. And I did this to get a more grainy look, as you can see there. And then of course I wanted to put some more texture inside the wood. So here and there I dabbed a little bit of, it's more of a tan, it looks white. And I brushed it in and brushed it in. And I want you guys to comment. Let me know what you think when you see the results. But this was a lot of work for me. Okay, whew, that 40 minutes is up. So now it's time to go to Home Depot. Of course, I didn't record me doing that, but I went to Home Depot to find the hardware. I already knew what hardware I wanted to use because there was already some holes in this drawer. And so I had to cover those up because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to use those. So I didn't want to fill them in with wood glue. too premature, especially since I knew that I could use the hardware that I bought. I ended up not needing the holes that was already in there. And then I went and bought the hardware that I use. As you can see, it's kind of flat and it kind of cancels out all 4 of those holes right there. And so I was able to use that and it worked out perfectly. Usually when I get to this part, I feel really, really good. Now, don't forget to subscribe. Please like, comment. Let me know that you're enjoying it. Let me know if I could do something better too. I'm good on everything. But anyway, as a reminder, here's what they look like before. And here's what they look like after.